reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
You're logging into your favorite game, grinding out some gear. A couple of points added to your stats, and you have a virtual beer. Max level is pretty cool, but I'll remind you here, my friend. These games are not about the goal, it's about the journey and not the end.
You're listening to MMO Reporter, brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at audibletrial.com/MMO Reporter. And by Doghouse Systems. Choose your weapon with Doghouse Systems.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. Don't forget about your ults you need.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of MMO Reporter. This is episode 280. I'm Chris, and again, I'm joined by the ever so well-spoken at MMO Bill. Hello, Bill.
Good day. I like to think of myself as just there, like always.
Just there, present.
Not quite in a creepy way, but not too far off from creepy either.
That explains why every time we were in class in high school and the teacher yelled your name, you said, present. Got it. I understand now. Took me a while to get that, but you know.
Yeah, it's my defining trait.
So, hello.
Wonderful smell.
Hello, everyone. We are here after our different episode last week. For those of you who don't know, my computer absolutely died, absolutely sputtered. So I have been stuck with I think potato-powered would be very, very generous, but I've got a backup laptop here that I've been stuck on for all of my PC needs, which meant that we couldn't quite do a regular episode. I wasn't quite ready. Now, I'm still on the same computer, but I've spent an extra week getting stuff ready so that we can record for you. It's not going to be the same visuals that we usually have in the show, but we're going to have fun talking about the games because that's what we like to do. Bill, why don't we start by getting into what we've been playing? And,
I was just going to say the good news is that the visuals and everything are apparently going to get 1,000 times better because the power beast that's going to be coming into your home pretty soon is I don't like to admit that I'm jealous, but I'm just a little bit jealous.
The numbers 6800K and 1080 might be somewhere in that spec.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that.
No. So let's get into what will look wonderful on my computer, which is the games you've been playing.
Well, the games, a lot of games. It's a crazy time of year, and I hope everyone else is actually finding some game time and enjoying the holidays and everything like that, because I feel like I've been just going a million miles an hour in every direction. So I haven't really been able to play much. I did get a little bit of Guild Wars 2 time in. Asani and I did some mastery experience grinding for her. We're trying to get her the kind of the perma gliding mastery so that she could do all of the story, like the season 3 story stuff now if she wants, but it's so much better when you've got your gliding mastery finished. So we're working on that for her, and we made some progress. We actually did her first ever multi-map Auric Basin run.
Cool. How did that go?
It was good, actually. Initially, we'd planned to just do a pug and a regular map and call it done, but our regular pug turned into a big multi-map thing, and there were 6 different maps open, and I think we hit most of them before the timer went, and got some good loot. And I think, and it is good loot, because I think I came out of that like almost 20 gold richer, which, and that's just from what do you break your rares down and you get the little purple globe, and it's called
okay, I know what you're talking about. I don't know what it's called, but I do,
and I'm horribly embarrassed as a Guild Wars 2 player that I don't know what it is, but I'm gapping because that's just the kind of week it is. Anyway, I made a ton of gold that night. Asani did pretty well as well. Moved the bar, and that was fun. Otherwise, the only other time I've really been in any games is kind of picking away at World of Warcraft. We did our dungeon run the other night, and so I've got to preface this a little bit. The two things might initially seem like they're not related, but they kind of are. So we did our dungeon run, and we died a lot because our healer is basically the devil.
Yep.
Which was fun. We did get any loot. We're working through heroics so that we can kind of get everybody up to that mythic level. So we're really close to that. The only other thing that I did in World of Warcraft is I started leveling a priest. Why a priest, you might ask? Because our healer is the friggin' devil.
Yeah, pretty much.
So that's, and actually, you know, I'd always kind of poo-pooed playing a DPS priest because I figured, oh, this is just, DPS is plan B for a priest. How good could it possibly be? But I'm actually really enjoying Shadow Priest. That's been kind of fun. That's what I'm leveling as. I'm up to level 56 now, and I think as I start getting into Burning Crusade, I'm going to try to do some pug dungeons to level through. And so I'll try some holy healing, and I might even try some discipline healing just to see what it's like. But yeah, it's been more fun than I suspected it would be. So I actually think I'm going to try to get that up to 110 and maybe even make that my dungeon running tune for our Wednesday night runs.
I thought that the fastest way to level was dungeons from 15 up.
It probably is, but I also completely decked my dude out in heirloom gear, so questing was dirt easy. I was getting, I think I've probably got like a 50% XP boost all the time just from the heirlooms that I'm running around on. So, and that's not even including any potions or anything like that I can get. Now I'm going to have to rank up my heirlooms in order to keep going, so I'm going to have to borrow from my rogue to get that moving, but that shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, anyway, so I've been kind of itching to do dungeons with a ranged DPS class because I'm finding the rogue just chaotic in a lot of instances, and I'm finding it really hard to get regular DPS rotation going, so I think my DPS is hurting for it. But anyway, we'll see. So check it out. Keep an eye out for my Pandaren priest.
What I like about our Wednesday nights too is a lot of it is our friend Darren, who plays with us, is so knowledgeable about WoW and explains things in such a just a non like, hey noob, you should know this. You don't know something that everybody else is like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, here, this is how you do it.
It's like, it's all very conversational. It's all, oh, did you know? Yeah. Even when he's probably deep down really saying, you dummy, this is basic. Why didn't you know this? But he completely explains it to you like, oh, this is something that I just found out myself. It's nice to be able to learn from somebody like that. So
so
I've
for all
enjoyed
of
playing
you
with him.
For all of you who are thinking about WoW, maybe you've never played WoW. I know there's one or two of you under a rock somewhere, or have been overwhelmed by it. Come listen to watch one of our Wednesday night streams. I think you'll enjoy that. Plus, you get to hear me usually curse because all of a sudden I have 3 or 4 pulls worth of mobs in a dungeon, all crowded around me. I have to say though, my self-mitigation skills, like I am on fire with usually I'm on fire because there's too many mobs, but I'm really good at my I don't want to die right now rotation.
See, I'm pretty
really
sure
good
that eventually when we get to like mythic level or something like that, Null's going to say, oh, I was totally just Mr. Miyagiing you or something like that. But let's just establish this now. He's basically the devil.
Yes.
Because he'll heal you and he'll keep you alive and it'll be fun. And then all of a sudden there'll be 30 of something attacking you.
Yeah, there's often as I'm setting up the pull and I'm seeing, okay, am I going to pull them around here? There's usually a little streak of a holy paladin running further ahead in the dungeon, grabbing more mobs. Yeah, but we have fun. Yeah. I'm working on into my 3rd zone now on Rift with the new expansion. So once I get the new computer, I'll be able to get a full video out of my thoughts. But overall, every zone except for the first one kicks your ass until you get geared for that zone.
Oh, glorious.
Yeah, that's not fun. And I go into this new zone, and I even stayed in the second zone a little longer to make sure that I completed a little bit more and just got really well geared and stuff.
Well,
And I was
we
on
talked.
level.
Yeah, we talked about this when we were playing together. And we thought, oh look, there's a event, level 66 event. We're both level 65. We should be able to hold our own in this.
Yeah.
No, steamrolled. And yeah, like I said, the scaling, the challenge is fun and everything like that. But the other piece is, in an MMO, you kind of want to feel like a hero sometimes. I get more charged up after I've and again, this is my priest leveling. This is part of the thing that I love about leveling in World of Warcraft, is when you're low levels and you're just charging through, you are a hero. You can run into a pile of a dozen of something and come out looking sparkling. So that's what I wish there was a little bit more of in Rift. I feel like there's a medium between the two that would be more fun.
The difference between that and what the second and third zone showed me was that was for events. The first zone I cleared no problem, got through all the quests no problem. I mean, we started, the two of us together, but I did the rest of it. The second and third zone have been kicking my butt by myself, just doing regular questing. I'm not talking about events or footholds or anything like that. I'm just talking about questing. Mm-hmm. And I really haven't enjoyed that. So we'll have to see once I'm done. Our show last week was all about Gigantic and our inability to get in on the open beta launch night.
That was embarrassing.
I have now made it up to level 6. I still have some match issues.
Oh, do you get experience now when the matchmaking process crashes?
Yeah.
Because I figure that's the only way you could possibly level in Gigantic.
No, it is done. They fixed a bunch of stuff. It feels beta-ish. It doesn't feel close to release open beta-ish. It just feels beta-ish. Mm-hmm. But I've gotten enough matches in to get up to level 6, and I'm starting to work on unlocking some skins because I'm really having fun. I play as HK almost all of the time, and cool. I'm really good at it. I think the other day, which for me in a MOBA-ish type of game is quite awesome, but I had like an 8 or 9 player kill streak. And it wasn't just because they were all together almost dead and I threw my AoE in there, which I'm sure was what you were thinking, Bill. Mm-hmm. I actually, over the course of the match, quite well. My efficiency, they give you an efficiency rating every match, which is, I guess, your kind of kill-death ratio with more stuff in there.
Okay.
And so I was really good. I was the second highest one. Our healer was the first one. So he's probably the reason I got 8 or 9 kills in a row. So Gigantic, if you haven't checked it out, there's a couple things that still frustrate me. There's still some technical issues, but it's beta. And I haven't been able to test this yet. Apparently, the Arc and Windows Store versions don't cross matchmake. So Arc, if you don't know, is the perfect world Battle.net launcher type of thing. Mm-hmm. And so I had someone mention on our video that the Arc and the Windows Store versions don't matchmake.
Okay, I don't want to say that's phenomenally stupid because that could be feeling hurting for someone, but why? Why would you do that? They're both PC platforms.
Yeah. So I have to do more research on that, so we'll find out. Last but not least, I've been playing Titanfall 2, which is a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I'm like crazy into leveling up my Titan and getting him to the next generation, and it's just and guess what, it's funny, like I said last time, I don't know if it made it onto the show yet, I don't remember, I play the same type of character in Titanfall 2 that I do in Gigantic. Like big slow Gatling gun type characters. Yeah. And I feel like the guy in the Matrix when all the robots are coming towards him and he's in the big lifter with a gun and he's going Rah! And they overwhelm him. That's usually me. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we have been playing in game. Anything you want to add in there, Bill, before we move things along to anybody else? Anything
No,
else?
that's all I got.
All right. If anybody in the chat room here, just while I'm doing our next mention here, wants to say what they've been playing, I'll mention it if we get to it before I get on to the next segment. First of all, I want to mention our patrons, patreon.com/MMO Reporter. Go check it out. Help keep the lights on and help keep the network going. I'd like to really increase the number of YouTube videos that we create, but with the new computer, I'm able to do most of that. Just need a little more hardware. So if you can help us out by going to patreon.com/MMO Reporter, you can help us get a little bit new hardware, some more stuff for packs, some more stuff to keep the network going and to keep our wonderful shows on the air. So if you want to go check that out, go to patreon.com/MMO Reporter. And now it's time to move things along to the news.
From me, more than deeps is all you have to do to make the raid. Then you wouldn't have to say.
All right, let's move things along to the news. And first, we're going to bring you some news coming from Phoenix Labs, which is former Riot Games, Bioware, and Blizzard developers who have announced a new RPG, Dauntless. Doesn't it just, it's all sorts of connotations to that name, isn't there, Bill? I feel more heroic just hearing it said out loud.
Yeah, I feel like you can't really say it in a high voice either, too. It just has that Dauntless. It has a bunch of gravitas to it.
We all need to channel our inner James Earl Jones whenever we say it. Dauntless.
Dauntless. Yeah. Anyway.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. So we know exactly, basically one thing about it. It's 4-player co-op fantasy.
Yeah, and it's we know what's in the trailer. It does seem to have a heck of a pedigree. The articles I've been reading say that it's pulling people from BioWare, it's pulling people from Blizzard, League of Legends. It's got some people behind it. It's going to be a free-to-play game when it comes out in 2017. So that's a thing. So we'll. I don't know. I don't like that. I want it to be like, even if it was just like $20 and had a cash shop in it or something like that, something to keep it from being a complete, or at least being a risk of being a complete pay to win schmozzle.
And it's so hard now because even full price games are bringing in cash shops as part of it. Yeah. And some do it really well. I think Titanfall 2 has just brought in some real money stuff into it. Total fluff, nothing I need to worry about, so that's fine. Mm-hmm. But the thing about having a totally free-to-play game is that it puts more weight behind the enticement of people to spend money in the shop, which focuses part of the way you design the game on leaning people towards that, and that's frustrating and annoying. Mm-hmm. Right? So yeah, that's really frustrating. But you know what, this 4-player co-op stuff, I mean, I really fell in love with the idea. I'm going to bring it up again every time 4-player co-op comes up. I mention it. Shadow Realms, my baby, my poor stillborn, unbrought to life, no longer with us baby that never was 4-player co-op, and I fell in love with that game when we saw it at PAX, and I wanted to live in that demo space that they had because I wanted to play it so much more. Mm-hmm. And so I've got that, which is drawing me towards it. The trailer, you know me, I'm a sucker for a great trailer. Great cinematic, okay, I'm in. Gameplay, whatever, great cinematic, I'm in. Mm-hmm. And so it looks fantastic. What they are talking about at that fantasy, sort of the not talking about it by talking about generalities about it, all that stuff, I'm in. I gotta say that I'm in. right? Anybody? What about you? What about our listeners? What about our chat room? Anybody else totally set and like diving into the pool head first?
I was very meh on the trailer. Like it didn't blow my mind.
But you don't understand beauty is all. That's all.
It reminded me a lot of Crowfall, and I don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Crowfall, but it certainly looked like that, and I'm trying to figure out what this game is going to actually be. Like, I don't really want to have I don't have a lot of interest in a game that's just 4-player boss fights and there's only 4 bosses. You know, like like I'm concerned that this is going to be really shallow. I mean, I could be wrong, and we'll see. And again, I'm concerned also about like the model. Like, if the game is shallow, what does the game sell to become monetized? So
I don't know. Again, as is the tradition here on MMO Reporter, we're going with wild, baseless speculation. I think we can expect something along the lines of Diablo from a third person rather than an overhead perspective, with a dash of the teamwork that happens in things like Guild Wars 2 with the synergies, and with Dragon Age, with the multiplayer version of that, which I absolutely loved. Mm-hmm. And all that sort of stuff put together. I think you could have a really fun experience. A really, really fun experience, because that co-op, surviving, getting through, and for me, the connection that third person view gets to the character rather than an overhead or even a first person view. Bill, I want. Can I have it now?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm glad I could help.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's move on to WoW. Nighthold Raid launches January 17th. Bill, you did a little bit of research on this. Can you tell us a little bit about what this raid will entail?
So Nighthold is going to come out as a normal and heroic raid, and this is going to be, we're going to get a little inside baseball with WoW here, so sorry for people who don't WoW. But so it's going to start off with normal and heroic modes. It's going to be a 10-boss raid, with the final boss being Gul'dan, which is basically the main antagonist in terms of the cinematics and the trailers and the lore leading up to Legion. Gul'dan is who's kind of heralding all the terrible Burning Legion incursions and that kind of thing. So being able to fight him at the end is kind of interesting. Now, we have fought Gul'dan in the past, and somehow through time travel and parallel universes, he came back in this expansion. Is he going to be the unkillable villain? Like, are they going to, how much time travel can they do with Gul'dan, do you think?
Well, he was the one of the big bads in Warlords. He was the big bad in the movie, the World of Warcraft movie, right? The Warcraft movie.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Oh, come on. It's a year old.
I haven't watched it.
Really?
True story.
Well, I just told you the bad guy. It doesn't matter.
Now I'm not going to watch it.
He's introduced in the first little bit, so it's not like it's a big reveal. I'm sorry, Bill. I'm sorry.
Okay. I forget.
I didn't mean to tell you that he dies at the end.
Of course, he's also pretty prominent in Wrath of the Lich King as well, and obviously Burning Legion, because that's what, I mean, he's kind of an important Legion character. So, like, what I think it was the Mists of Pandaria and Cataclysm were the only ones that weren't Gul'dan centric or focused.
All right, so Gul'dan's in there. How many other bosses? Did you say that already?
Yeah, there's 10 more bosses. The gear that's going to drop is T19. So are we at tier 18 for the current raid, or is it also tier 19?
I think Legion was tier 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So we're still tier 19. One of the things they're doing that I thought was a little bit interesting, and maybe they've been doing with their raids for a while, but I haven't noticed, is they're scaling the eye level drops throughout the raid. So your beginning bosses are going to be dropping gear at a lower item level than the bosses at the end of the raid. So you can't just jump in, snipe the first boss or two to get a shot at some good gear and then take off. Now they've got motivation for you to actually get right through to the end. there's also going to be a Gul'dan, for example. They're saying is going to be eye level 865 gear on the looking for raid tier, 895 on heroic, and 910 on mythic.
Nice.
Difficulty
910 is like.
there. And 910 is basically legendary level.
Yeah,
so that's pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that raid coming up. Now this raid was supposed to come after patch 7.1.5, which is going to be kind of a smaller patch with a bunch of quality of life boosts and that kind of thing. I think we talked about it in a previous show, but nothing, and we did. So yeah, the Christmas break here should actually bring up some interesting changes for World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that. And then there's also some changes, just other sort of WoW-ish sort of stuff that's coming out now. They're making some changes to legendaries as well. They're going to be putting this, I don't know if it is on the PTR yet, but it will be soon if it's not, where basically their goal with legendaries was to have some that were super duper useful in rare occasions and some that were pretty good all of the time. Unfortunately, with the way they're designed now, there's some that are super duper useful in rare situations and always kind of useful. And what they want to do is they want to have the legendaries be one or the other. Because right now, when some of them are always a good help and then sometimes an amazing help, they are overly powerful compared to the other ones, and those other ones are seen as bad. So they're gonna play around with some stuff so that your legendaries are a little bit more balanced. They'll either fall into the sometimes really awesome or always a little bit better. Which, what do you think about that? Do you think, is it, because imagine you're someone right now who has one of those legendaries that is always pretty good and then sometimes really great. I'd be pretty pissed.
Yeah, mine is not like that. I have a legendary. Mine is just annoying because it has a sound effect that's terrible. I'm hoping that's part of the patch that they're going to fix with legendaries, is the annoying noise that mine makes every 30 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, poor Bill. You can give me enough money. No, you can't buy a legendary. You can keep running my character around for me until I get a legendary.
Yeah, if you keep running my priest around until it's mythic level.
No.
We could help each other. Help me help you.
All right, last but not least for WoW stuff, patch 7.2, which is on a little bit further down the line, is going to be having Legion invasions all across the Broken Isles, as well as a few other quality of life improvements and some different gameplay stuff as well. I'll have a link to a PC Gamer article about it. I liked the Legion invasion, so I'm looking forward to them coming back. I mean, they were officially the best way to level pre-Legion. I hope they do an event like that before every expansion, because I got a couple different characters up.
I'll probably hit level 110 the day before this patch lands and miss the boat.
Yeah,
think about that. If we run around with a Pandaren priest and a Tauren paladin, then we'll be the fuzziest and most sanctimonious pair probably in the whole game.
Okay, that's it. We're done. That's it. That's what we're doing. All right, let's move on to our sponsors. Audible, audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter. If you want to check out the world's best audiobook provider. They have a ton of audiobooks that you can choose from, and if you use that URL, audiblepodcast.com/MMO Reporter, you will get your first month free. You just sign up for a plan of some sort, and you'll get 1 credit for that first free month, and you'll be able to pick a book. And the thing is, after you use that credit, you can cancel. You don't like Audible? Hey, you can cancel. But make sure that you use up all your credits before you do cancel your account. And of course, Doghouse Systems, use the coupon code MMO Reporter for a free SSD added to your purchase. Now, I tried to use this code the other day, and it was showing me a free 480 gig SSD when I tried this. So go try it out yourself and let us know if they've upped that. I sent an email, but they haven't replied to me yet. So go try it out. See, maybe you can get yourself an even better SSD for your computer by using that code, MMO Reporter. So now we are going to move things along.
When your healer yells out of mana,
Pull that world boss out a party. Run through trash, you'll be sorry. Take a bio break without announcing. They may not rhyme, but they're quite possibly dumbest ways to die. Dumbest ways to die. Dumbest ways to die. So many. All right, Bill. So many. Talking about dumb ways to die, there's an update for Guild Wars 2 that has to do with PvPs, which is my dumbest way to die.
It's, well, you know, it's actually not very dumb. They've put a bunch of changes in. So we're coming up to structured PvP season 5 for Guild Wars 2, and they've made a few changes to it. That's gone live 2 days ago. We're recording on the 15th. This was live on the 13th. But yeah, they've made a bunch of changes here that I think are going to be better. Now, I'm a light sPvP guy in Guild Wars 2 at best, but I can see this being something that makes it a little bit more appealing to me. So first thing first, the big change that they're making is that ranked play for structured PvP is now small groups only. So you don't get 5-person pre-mades in structured PvP anymore. That's out. You can only group up with one other person at most. So you're in any batch, you're going to be getting at least 3 random people with you, if not 4. So some ways that's bad because people could obviously random people pose the risk of being trolls or awful or whatever, but it also mitigates the risk, which has become a huge problem in the Guild Wars 2 PvP community, of pre-mades just steamrolling everybody who's not a pre-made, and that the only good fights come when you've got 2 pre-made 5-person groups going head to head. So this, I don't know. A lot of people don't like this change. This has been a controversial change because it is actually a huge change for a multiplayer game to not be able to play with your friends. But I think I'm on board with this. What do you think, Chris? Does this make you more or less likely to want to PvP?
Here's the I have had so many Guild Wars 2 matches where I've had a ton of fun, way more than any other type of match. But there are enough matches where I have gone in and I see that everybody on the other team has the same guild tag. And the first thing I think is, oh, f***.
Oh, f***.
Yeah, that's just the way that it works. And I die again and 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 again. And that's not fun. And after that, I usually quit out of guild. I finish the match and then I quit Guild Wars 2 and go do something else because I'm so frustrated, because it's not fun not being toyed with, but that's basically what a match like that is.
Yeah. You want to have a chance, and you know what? I'm okay. You know what? I'm not okay losing. I get whiny and everything like that, like everybody else. But I feel like at least if the rest of the matchmaking that's happening, and they actually do say that they've tried to beef up their matchmaking system to make it a little bit more even, especially in light of this grouping change that they're putting in there. If that's good, then I'm okay. Like if I get a 50-50 win-loss rate, that's good. I don't need to win 100% of the games. It's like the Overwatch theory that I think we've talked about before on the show. They are aiming for everybody to have a 50% win rate when you get into your matchmaking, because that means it's actually matching you against other people. Unfortunately, people don't like to lose half the time. They want to win 9 times out of 10.
Yep.
And that's it. So anyway, we'll see. I hope this is the magic sauce, and I hope this makes structured PvP a fun thing, because I actually would like to get in there and do a regular run at PvP. So and maybe I'll even get myself up to silver rank, because that's another change that they've made, is they've actually added a metallic leveling system very similar to another game that I might have just mentioned a moment ago. You can get bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and legendary, because legendary is apparently a medal now. I don't know why they didn't go with mithril. I mean, honestly, it's like the natural progression in the game. Why wouldn't you do it in your
Are they
ranks.
taking away the like rabbit rank and the deer rank and all that?
I don't know, actually. I've been out of it for a while, so I don't know. Anyway, we'll see. But yeah, so the division that you're in is going to have a big effect on your matchmaking, and it's also going to have an effect on the rewards that you get from your PvP matches. So that's there as well. Now, for your rank to get determined, you're going to have to do 10 placement matches, which also sounds familiar for another game. But anyway, so it's not really, doesn't look like it's taking into account your history or anything like that. This is just a clean slate for season 5, which is okay. Inactivity is going to cause ranking decay during the season, which is probably a good thing. The other thing is they kind of got rid of the calculated scoring that you used to get in the previous PvP matches. So now the only stats that you get at the end of the game are damage done, healing done, kills, deaths, so like just basic numbers, and that's it. So you don't get this kind of conflated weird number that might accurately represent how well you did and might not. I mean, the downside is if you're kind of one of those toolsy players that relies on buffs and strategy and everything like that, it's not going to look very good on the scoreboard. But I guess it's all about the W's, isn't it?
Are you calling PvPers tools?
I would never.
You would never, huh?
Never.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this out. We will have to do a little bit in January, a little bit of PvPing and see how this works out, and get back to our listeners about what they think. Would love to hear what our listeners think, though, so send us a message and let us know. All right, moving along to World of Warships, which is a fun game that actually I was surprised at how big it took off. It has taken off way more than World of Warplanes did, but not quite to the level of World of Tanks. It is a big game. It is quite popular for streamers and quite competitive. There are some benefits to being a tester for this game. Actually, becoming a super tester, which is an invite-only program, will get you a new ship, which is the Alabama class, I believe. And this is only for super testers, which sounds pretty good to me, except that the new ship is apparently super powerful and only available to super testers, so you can't get it any other way, which the reward for testing the game will be a ship that gives you more power over other players. It's a very high-tiered ship for testing the game, and there is currently a community poop storm about it. I don't know how I feel about this. I think that there should be some rewards for super testers, but I don't know if I like the idea of an actual gameplay element, like a tiered ship, being only for them. I wouldn't mind like some super cool exclusive paint job for those ships or skins.
And that's what it should be. It should be cosmetic. It might even be out of the game. Like maybe even putting putting names into the credits or something like that. Yeah. That's the kind of reward you should get for being a tester. Like these tangible rewards that actually affect the power in the game. If your testers are playing for live power, like live game power, then you're gonna have a bad time because they're gonna people who just game that, like no pun intended. Okay, pun a little bit intended, to get an advantage, and that shouldn't be. You shouldn't get an advantage by being a tester. Like testing should be a fairly altruistic event. If it's not, you're gonna wind up with bad testing, if not downright exploiting.
Yeah,
I think if I was putting together a testing program, that's how it would be.
I'm of similar mind to this. The community there's of course, like any community discussion, there's some people saying it's not that powerful of a ship, it's not a big deal, it's a good reward for those people who are going to put in all the time to test, because this invite-only program is apparently very time-intensive. I don't agree with any of that. I think it should be cosmetic. I think, maybe a variant of an already available ship that does one thing different, but the problem then is who knows if you don't test it enough that that's funny that I said that. That one thing could make it overpowered in itself. So anyways, yeah, cosmetics. Way to go. Okay, last thing, our quick mention here for this week. If you haven't tried Black Desert Online, I believe it was episode 278 where I talked about Black Desert Online being the best game I never want to play. Because it's just overly complicated for me. But it is a fantastic game. It looks amazing. And if you have a computer that can handle it, go check out the minimum requirements. It's free for 7 days. We'll have a link to the massively OP article about this. So this is through the holidays, 7-day free trials. Go check it out and see what you think of the game. I'd love to hear if anybody finds a way to be part of that game that doesn't require it to be your number one and only game, because I wasn't able to see that. I couldn't find the value for me without being Eve level invested in the game.
I was not super excited about it, so I doubt this is going to be what pushes me into it. I already have a long playlist for my Christmas break. I don't think I could get so far down the list that I'd actually be on BDO. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into what we are planning to play next week. For me, I'm planning to jump back into WoW. We have our last stream of the year, on Wednesday. Some Rift. Got to get through all of that expansion content in Titanfall 2, and hopefully, if I get my new computer, I'll increase that list. But for right now, that's pretty much all I can do. Oh, you know what? Let me add Gigantic to that list because I am having fun with that, and that's on my Xbox. So
cool.
Yeah. What about you, Bill? What are you going to be playing?
Well, I've got a tight week this week. I'm going to do a little bit more World of Warcraft, probably try to pick away at leveling and try to do a little bit more dungeoning next week. Other than that, I'm gonna try to get into Rift, and I don't know that it's going to be realistic that I'd catch up to you, Chris, but I'd at least make an effort to kind of be in your atmosphere kind of thing. Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see how it goes. I want to do dungeons once you do catch up. So
yeah. No, I would too. Like I said, I was giving a Rift a hard time at the top of the show, and I think it deserved it, but I do like it. It's a good nostalgia game. It's a good throwback style of game, and I want to play it. I just don't want to die all the time. I don't want to suck. I want to be awesome.
All right, Bill. You know what? I want our listeners to tell us how they want to be awesome. And how could they let us know? What sort of contact info might we have for them to let us know their potential awesomeness?
Yes, there's a bunch of different ways they can do that. They can visit our website at MMOreporter.com, check out our happenings there. They can send us an email to mmo.reporter@gmail.com. They can visit us on Facebook at facebook.com/MMOreporter. They can tweet at us either at MMO_reporter for Chris or at MMOBill for yours truly. You can give us a call at 616-666-6778. Leave us a voicemail. Let us know what you think about anything. We would love to have you on the show. It would be like having a third person again, Chris. It would be just magic.
It would be magic.
They could visit us over on YouTube, youtube.com/MMOreporter Network. The network is very important to that. You can head over to Patreon, patreon.com/MMOreporter. If you're feeling like helping us out, we would appreciate that a lot. We love our patrons. And finally, if you're not a Patreon kind of person, but you still want to help out, head over to MMOreporter.com/support, and there is stuff for you there to help us with.
Awesome. Bill, as always, it was an absolute pleasure to record with you. I would love to do this again.
I think we should. Same damn time, same damn place next week.
Sounds good. Thanks to all of our wonderful listeners out there for coming and hanging out with us, whether it was live, whether it was watching on YouTube, watching on Twitch, however you may consume the show. We sure appreciate you coming here and listening to us talk about games. We hope that you come back next week, but of course, most importantly, we hope to see you in game.
Don't forget about your ults you need to cherish. Each and every little character you've got, no matter what level they're at. you're all you need to cherish each and every little character you've got, no matter what.
Thanks for watching the video, everybody. Don't forget to check out all the other podcasts at MMOreporter.com or by clicking on any of the links here. And please check out our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MMOreporter. Thanks, everyone, and see you in game.